program, we had an end condition for our loop. In this one, we're going to actually use a counter variable to control when the loop is finished. So we're going to have a counter, and we're going to start that as 1. You're going to see why that is the case as we get our loop running. And then we are going to have, let's do a constant integer. We're going to call this finish, although flag could have been a name for it. We're going to have a total of 5 iterations of the loop. So this one is obviously our counter variable. This one here is going to be our flag. And then what we're going to do is we're going to write a program where the user is going to enter a number of fish 5 times, and then we are going to have a total amount of fish at the end of it. So because this is our accumulator, so this one we have to initialize. You always have to initialize your accumulator as well as your counter, but you can see in this case we're not actually initializing it at 0. We're going to initialize it at 1 because this is going to be the first run through the loop. So just like before, we were going to do a do while the counter is less than or equal to the finish value. So every time through the loop, here's what we're going to do. We are going to prompt the user, and this is going to be a really useful part of the counter, and it's a little bit why we initialized it at 1. We're going to use that to enhance the output of the program. So enter fish amount, and then we're going to put the counter here. And I always like to put a little colon as a spacer here. And then we are going to cin the amount of fish. Then what we're going to do is we are going to have the fish total increase by the amount of fish that we entered here. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to increment. So I've used the word a few times, but we're going to use this to increment, so increase by 1, the counter value. And then when the loop is finished, in our grand finale, we're going to finally display what the user has been wanting to know, is what is the total amount of fish for this program. Okay, so there's a couple of useful things in this, and you're going to see that in the output, how we use this counter to number the individual lines. So let's take a look at what the output produces here. Run that. All right, so let's see what we've got. We've got enter fish amount 1. So I'm going to put a 5. Now this is the nice thing. We've got enter fish amount 2, 6, enter fish amount 3. That'll be 4. Enter fish amount 4. Maybe we had a few fish stolen. I'm going to put -2. And then the final amount is going to be 10. And there you have it. We've got a fish total of 23, and we used our counter to control ahead of time how many times we would actually run that loop.